First job. Coffee machine. There we go. Alright. Watch telly. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. I wanted to start this video first of all by thanking everybody. We've had such an amazing response to the videos that we've been putting out there. A lot of positivity, a lot of subscribers. We're really taken aback. We posted the videos initially because I like making the videos. I think they're fun. We posted the videos and they've been received very, very warmly and very, very well. And we've had quite a few people reach out to us and offer support and things like that. So we're absolutely blown away. We weren't expecting that. And I really wanted to thank you for it. Thanks for all the subscribership. So don't forget, if you're thinking of subscribing, just hit that subscriber button, click the bell icon and get notifications. And give us lots of thumbs up or click the thumbs down button twice. And leave us a comment. We do like to read all the comments. Even the horrible ones, they make us smile. So feel free to leave a comment down below.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Carried all the weight on my shoulder. Had me going ever once I told you no. Told you no. Kept going like a marching soldier. Play my part, boy, I had to hold you down. Hold it down. When the tidal waves come around and wipe off what we built, would you fight for love, or would you back down and let our hope drown? When the world is everything, no break us up for good, would you hang around? When all we got right now, tell me how you feel about us. Yeah.
So, just jet washing all the scum off it. Look at that rusty scum film coming off, and that's the film that's on it there. And a bit of a futile job cleaning it, really. It's not ready for its final clean, but she's just looking so sad and just working on it. You can't work around grime, so.
Pero ahora ya no lo sé. Siempre has estado tan bella, pero has cambiado, mujer.
When the tidal waves come around and wipe off what we built, would you fight for love, or would you back down and let our hope drown?
Siento que ya no te tengo, o al menos yo no tu amor. No.
Tell me how you feel about.
So I've not had a chance to show you a lot of the needle descaling, but there's been a lot of stuff like that, and even worse. That when you hit with the needle descaler, some of it you find out is relatively superficial, and some of it just goes straight through and there's holes. Next job, gosh, you can get to see it. See those? Two great big blisters. On the boat. We're just going to needle gun them out. I'm just going to show you the whole process of what we've been doing around the boat. Needle gunning bits and pieces, and then we've been using the rust inhibitor on top of it. So I'm just going to smash into it now. I'm a bit scared. I'm not too high. This is the boss climbing a ladder. It's going to need pad welding. Second one to go. So to the untrained eye, it can look as though there's no rust in that, but you can see we've got a hole. So that's what rust covers, it covers holes. And that's not being made by the needle gun. The needle gun, unless it's very thin, which it counts as a hole anyway, a needle gun won't smash through decent steel. But this is steel, but this isn't. This is still rust, and this is hard rust that takes some smashing out with a needle gun, and we'll keep going at that until these bits disappear and it leaves just the shiny steel behind. So there we are, lots of little divot holes and a hole in my bucket dialyzer. So for now I'm just going to put some rust inhibitor on and some butyl tape, but when we're mixing up paint we'll wire wheel this back and then we'll put some epoxy primer on that just to protect it. But for now, because I can't make paint up in small amounts like that. Right, spider there. There's a spider living in my boat. So the next is the Genolite. This is where I use the rust inhibitor. Just go over the top. This is good stuff. Got my Fred Dibner hat on. Just wanted to show you what we've been doing. So we've got corrosion. Let me show you this in the side of the boat that I've decided to cut a piece out rather than needle gun it out and then grind back to good metal. I thought I'd cut a section out to have a look at what the good stuff looks like. So you can see that was the front side, and the corrosion's happened from the front rather than from the inside. So the inside is relatively good. That steel, that's 4mm. So where it's good, it's good. But where it's bad, it's corroded from the front rather than from inside. So that's good news. I was worried it was just all corroding from the inside, and it's not. It's just these patches that we can needle gun out, grind back, or cut and plate, rather than having to replace whole sections. So that's kind of good news. So this is one of the big problems. We can see this goes through to the engine room. So we've got a rib there, with quite a bit of corrosion on it, and there was three through hull fittings, 3 outlets that come there. It comes from the bilge pump system, and those 3 pipes came through there, and that's been an area of corrosion. I don't know whether the fittings were leaking or the pipes were leaking or what, but quite a bit of corrosion goes all the way down. So if you look at the ultrasound, this is 4mm steel. So most of the other parts of the boat, it's kind of 4mm, and then we get to here, we get to 3.74, 3.04, 3.19, a little bit at 4.04, 0 of course, 3.48 down here. So this kind of area, right where we've got one of the supports for the boat, this area is corroded. So and it extends underneath as well. You see corrosion here and corrosion there. So there's a bit of steel work to do under here. That's the engine room. All this is all coming out the bottom. That's corrosion in this area. So it's one area but it's quite bad. So we've got to get back to good steel. Right, so that's what the previous owner cut out through to the engine room. 3 bilge pump outlets through hull fittings there. Must have been leaking, as I said, to cause the corrosion. I've kind of cleaned across, got to this rib, and I just wanted to make sure everything was okay in the next section. So I've opened this out. We're going to have rounded edges here. We're going to round these edges off here. But the steel in here seems good. The paint on the back of the steel is still intact as well. So I got a bit of dressing up. The question I've got is cut this, and of course this is cut away from this steel rib, and in doing so the steel has bowed out. Now I don't know whether I can do that with dogs and wedges, whether it'll pull it back in or not. And I did wonder whether I should, because this is coming out as well at the bottom. This is rotten, it's rotten underneath. So I just wondered whether I'd be better off with a whole piece of steel all the way down and here and underneath. I think that's probably going to be the way to go. I think this is going to end up coming out. So I'm going to have to shift this. We're going to have to get a better cradle, because I just don't like the way they've shored up the boat. So I'm probably going to have to make a proper cradle, which is a job, and then I can remove this and then we can cut this steel out properly. Quite a lot of corrosion in there that you can see. I can't see what you're looking at, but anyway, pack up, sun's getting low. I'm going to have a bottle of beer. All right. So one of the major problems that I've got is shoring up the boat. I don't know how many years ago it was, probably 8 years ago. That's how long it's been out of the water. It's a bit bright out here, but it's been shored up with these dry old, look like telegraph poles. One of these was actually on the floor. I think it was this one when we got here. It's quite loose, and then there's a couple of what appear to be the proper thing, but you can see they're already fairly corroded, and on the other side there's a bit of a bend on them. So I'm not convinced about how safe this is. She's stood on the centre of the boat, on the keel if you like, on these blocks. So most of the weight is taken on the keel, and then these are trying to support, you know, the boat, stop it from falling off, rolling off to the side. The issue I've got is the keel at the back has got corrosion, so I've actually got to get to the back where that keel is, where those blocks are, and do a repair on there. And the other thing is, same here at the back, there's corrosion under there, so that's got to go, and on this one, and you know, that's not a good way to go with that support. So this I don't like, a little bit scary, and I'm not convinced we are completely safe. So what I need to do is I need to make something that will lift the boat up, because I've got to lift it off these blocks at the back. So if you look at the back, she's on the blocks, so I've got to lift her higher so that I can get those blocks out, and I need to sit on a cradle. So what I've done is I've bought some steel girders, and I've got to try and fathom making a couple of devices that will cradle the boat, for one. Secondly, will jack the boat up.
I can't believe that you came into my life. You made me feel again. Now it's my turn. You say you've always been a little bit shy, but I can put an end to your fears. Let me show you a place where you gon' wanna move your feet until they start to bleed. DJ, take it.
So if you remember from the early videos, one of the main areas of water ingress had come from the rear hatch, and the reason behind that was it'd been broken into. Some scally had broken in through the back hatch. They'd been on board, stolen some gear from the previous owner, and then the hatch never sealed water after that, and it wasn't made good afterwards. I think the previous owner put some polythene there to try and stop it from getting in, but the water just ended up going down and under the woodwork and started rotting the wood. And every time it rained, I mean, it was like a waterfall. And I believe the previous owner hadn't been to the boat for something like 8 or 9 months until he came to show us the boat to buy. And in those 8 or 9 months, every time it rained, and it rains a lot in West Wales, it was like a waterfall. And I am sad I didn't get some video footage. We were a bit, oh my God, when we saw it raining, it was just running in, dripping in everywhere. We've made it watertight now, but we're repairing the rear hatch. And one of the things on the rear hatch, the repair's fairly easy. It's just a piece that we can order from Europe. Not cheap, a little piece of, aluminium, I think about this big, and it's 80 quid, but that's boats for you. But regardless, the other thing is we toyed with the idea of replacing the hatch with a new one, with something a little bit more modern and something that's easier to get the parts for, and the parts are a bit cheaper. So but it's it's 50 by 50 centimeters, the hatch, and they're about 600 quid a pop. And while okay, if it's needed, we'd have to spend the money, but we've got a hatch that can be repaired for 80 quid. It just looks really shabby. So we've been sitting about trying to polish it up, and it looks like it's stainless steel with some kind of a top coat over the top. We've been trying to polish it up, but when we started to clean it, we noticed that there was these black patches all over the top of the boat. And we thought at first this was to do with the shot blasting, because the previous owner has had the hull shot blasted. So it's been shot blasted, had some of that post-shot blasting paint put on there, which is only supposed to be on there for a few months. And we thought it was the shot, because these, this shot all over the bottom of the boat from where it's been shot blasted, which is also black. But when we inspected it, whatever's settled on the boat has actually corroded through the paint. It's eaten through the paint and got to the steel and caused little patches of corrosion. And it's everywhere. So at some stage, something noxious has been in the air. I don't know whether it's come from industry nearby or something like that. Something seems to have settled onto the boat, and whatever it is was corrosive and has corroded through the paint. And it is a bit of a mystery, so I'd be quite interested if anybody knows anything about that that's watching this video, because I know that a few of you are kind of from the area, to find out as to what it was. But that same stuff that we've noticed that had burnt into the paint, that we've now cleaned off, but it's left lots of pits, has attacked the rear hatch as well. It's gone through the top coat and it's actually tarnished the stainless steel. So we've been having to try and polish that out, and it's relatively deep. So we started off with kind of 120 grit, and it was just taking ages, and we've slowly worked down. We're on a 40 grit at the moment, rough cutting, trying to get this this stuff out the stainless steel. Stainless steel is tough though, so even with a rough grit, you never bite down that deep. But it's taken some coming out. But we've started the process, a job we thought it would take a day just to polish up the hatch. We've spent the whole day just trying to get the tarnishing out, but it's nearly out, but we've been on with that too.
I know you feel it within.
So just going over that with, that's a 40 grit. That's a 40 grit, quite coarse, but if you look, if it focuses, you can see all these tarnish marks. They're quite deep, relatively deep. So we're just slowly going over it with the 40 grit, nice and carefully, until we get rid of them all. We're packing in now because the sun's going down. We've got some theories behind these tarnish marks I'll talk about later, but they're a bit weird. All the way through, those marks went all the way through the top coat and have gone into the steel. And we've got similar happening on the boat. So we wonder if there's been some fallout in the past. But anyway, that's just going around with 40 grit, which is quite coarse. We did start with 80, but we've been struggling to get those tarnish marks out, but we're getting there slowly. So a lot of work to do because of those tarnish marks, but getting there. And then this perspex it's not crazed, but it is scratched, so we're going to be polishing that up at some stage. Okay, sun's going down. Time to go in.
Anywho, once again, I just wanted to say how touched I am and how thankful I am for everybody that subscribed and supported and for all the positive comments. I like making the videos. We like working on the boat, and the fact that there's people out there who like watching the videos is really touching for us. It's really fantastic. It's quite encouraging. So it's encouraged us to put more effort into trying to make the videos, because they do take a lot of effort. They're not simple. Getting the cameras out, setting it all up and things like that does detract from the actual work. Editing takes me forever, but it is an enjoyable task. But it does make it all worthwhile knowing that you people appreciate the work and the effort that's gone into it. So thank you. And don't forget, if you do like these videos, hit that subscribe button. Click the bell icon too, then you get notifications. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video. If you didn't like the video, then click thumbs down twice. Don't forget to leave us a comment. We like to read all the comments, even the nasty ones. The nasty ones make us laugh. All right, so knock yourselves out. And in the meanwhile, once again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.